What's up, anglers? Bill Scorta, Florida Bass Paddler, and in this video I'm going to be doing a company review more so than a product review. You don't need me to tell you how much kayak fishing has grown over the years, and it used to be there were just a few big names in the kayak accessory market. We all know who they are, we all have our favorites, but lately people with very high IQs and 3D printers are making some really cool accessories. I have to admit, at first, I didn't think I would ever use anything 3D printed. I just figured it would fall apart. Why bother? Spend a little more money, get the real stuff. Turns out I was wrong. Now, while I have products from a variety of companies that make these products, there's one in particular I want to talk about, and that's YakHobby. I've outfitted my Predator PDL with some of their products, and we're going to go over them now. Stay tuned.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Alright, so let's go ahead and start in the front of the kayak. We're going to start with the drive. Here we have spacers. A couple different companies make these spacers. They're all a little different in one way, shape, or form. These in particular are round all the way. There's no attachment point, which in other words, there's no hardware to hold them on. It just slides on. It's snug. It slides on to the thwart here. You'll have one on each side. And again, I don't have a lot of experience with other drives, but Old Town has a variety of adjustment points to keep the drive centered. This over time will shift if you don't consistently check these to make sure they're tight. The spacers will still keep your drive centered so it properly lines up in the hull so you don't have water coming up through the drive when you're using it. Now, this doesn't mean that you don't check these. You still check them, but the spacers will help make sure that your drive is properly centered so you're getting the most out of the benefit of having a PDL system. I want to give you another look at the spacers here. And in addition, the YakHobby PDL end plugs. The PDL drive sits on what looks like a thwart bar, and the rubber end caps over time I think will come out. They're made of rubber. For those of you up north, you're going to have changing of the seasons, which the heat and the cold will have them expand and contract. In South Florida down here, they'll get soft, and I think eventually they'll come out. That's just the way it is with rubber products. It's not a flawed design or anything of that nature. But again, you don't want the ends to be open on these because they will cut into your hull, especially if your drive is not spaced properly on the thwart bar. What's nice about the YakHobby end caps here is that they utilize an O-ring, which is wrapped around the innards of the end cap. That'll help it slide in, and will as well as help it stay in place without having to worry about it falling out. Now, if you ever want to take them off, they do have a space here to easily pry them off, which you'll have to do carefully because again, these are 3D printed. They're not going to subject themselves to just digging in there because they will break, but you have to do it gently. But they're very sturdy. They have the YakHobby logo right there. They come in a variety of colors, and they're great to have. Even if you still have your originals, you can always have a spare set on hand, so if you do lose one, you have something that you can put in there without worrying about the thwart bar cutting into the hull of your kayak, especially if you live in a warm weather area such as I. We're going to take a look at the seating now, and we have a couple different goodies to show you here. First thing here, and you may not see it because it's black, these are shuttle end caps, and I'll go over what they do in a second. And these are shuttle block stabilizer rings. So, Old Town seating systems have a release pin system here, which just can slide off, not while you're sitting of course, but when the seat's not on the kayak, say when you're washing it, etc. The shuttles have a slightly raised edge that go up slightly higher than the height of the bar. Add that with these shuttle block stabilizer rings, and now your pin system is kept in a area where it's easy to put on and it won't slide off the seat. In addition to that, the shuttle block stabilizer rings, let me come around this way, hopefully you can see this, have attachment points for lanyards. If you want to keep tools under your seat, etc., they come with these cool attachment points. You can buy these as a set or as a pair of stabilizer rings or shuttle end caps. Really cool item. In addition to that, and I never thought these would be so much fun to use, are the risers, the seat risers from YakHobby. These will raise your seat almost an inch. What that does is it actually relieves pressure on your thigh for when you're sitting upright and you're pedaling. It actually levels your seat off a little bit, and believe it or not, it really makes it more comfortable to pedal your kayak with these risers here. They come in 2 sets, and each seat rail has 3 blocks. They use longer hardware, which is included, and again, they'll raise your seat up another inch in the front, which really gives you more of a level platform while pedaling. This is also one of my favorites. This is a molded resin. This is the YakHobby Super Ball. Again, as I mentioned earlier, my hands aren't the greatest right now, so this gives me a little bit more of a grab point when steering my kayak. Now, that's not to say there was anything wrong with the ball that came standard on the kayak, but the Super Ball is slightly larger, uses the existing hardware to go onto your Old Town steering system, does not interfere with the lock here, and it just gives you more of a area to grab. It's super sturdy, one piece. It doesn't feel flimsy, and again, this will really help you when you're steering, and especially in moving waters. Next product I want to show you are the YakHobby seat risers. Now, these are 3-inch seat risers. They come in sets of 2 and are available in a variety of different heights for a couple different kayaks. Now, these were the items I was actually concerned about being 3D printed. I'm about 165 pounds. Would they hold up with me sitting on the seat or leaning on the seat, etc.? They've held up and then some. I live in South Florida. The heat hasn't affected them at all. And what I really like about these are the fact that the tops are wide open. They hug the bottom of the seat beautifully. It won't slide out. It's nice and firm in there, and you can still lock your seat down with the existing straps. This really helps with going from a sitting position to standing, whether you're sight casting or trying to punch into a thicket, or when you want to sit back down, having your seat higher between the seat risers and the risers I'm using in the front, you're not having to go all the way down. You're sitting back down quietly. It's allowing you to maintain that stealth ability of being a kayak angler. So really like these seat risers here. In addition to these, they also have dual height risers as well now, so I definitely ask you to check them out. These are the YakHobby XD rudder thumb knobs. Old Town has made it so you can adjust your rudder lines by turning this screw here, but normally you would need a needle nose plier or a small wrench to grip these and turn them, which is not too bad, but the thumb knobs actually allow you to make adjustments without the use of having a tool. They're slit right down here, slide over your line, and are held on by a very small zip tie. Tighten her up, clip the end strip, and these will fit right over the screws, allowing you to make the adjustments by hand without the use of tools. It just really makes it more convenient than it is anything else with regard to adjusting your rudder lines. And personally, I think they look kind of cool. The prop cone. This prop cone will actually double your speed and how fast you go with your PDL kayak. Alright, no, that's a lie. But what it does do is eliminates the hassle of getting out a wrench to remove a nylon nut from your prop in case you need to change it out or check it for weeds. I'll explain. So let's say I've broken my prop, or perhaps I've gone through some weeds unknowingly and have them wrapped up. Simply twist off the prop cone, remove your prop. You can clean out the weeds or change it out if necessary and pop it back on. The nice thing about this product is even though it's 3D, it has a threaded insert, and if you drop it, it floats. I also like it because of its size. It's a lot easy for someone like me to grasp it, to put it back on, especially if you have arthritis due to old age. And twist that back on there. We're not going to over tighten it. We're just going to tighten it enough to keep the prop on. You see I kind of put my prop here against the kayak, the blade there, and I just twist her on there. She's on. I hope you could see this. These are my absolute favorites. The YakHobby tube extenders. What do these do? Well, this was actually my idea, but YakHobby hit it out of the park after I gave them a rough draft of what I was looking for. This crate, for example, allowed you to have 4 rod tubes on the back. The problem with the rod tubes were, in my opinion, they were too close, especially if you're someone who uses a lot of bait casters, such as I do. The tube extenders adjusted tubes so they're 4 inches away from the surface of the box. And as you can see, I took a box that was meant to have 4 rod tubes in the back, and now I have 5. Now, yes, you can put a track system on the back here and add as many rod holders as you like. But again, this allows you to stagger your rods, carry up to 5, and it's only meant to carry 4 off the back. They come in pairs and also have indentations on this side so they don't spin. This way they grab the rod tube flat surface here. These won't spin. And these again will be a nice addition to a variety of boxes out there. And as you can see, I have my rods staged there. I can carry up to 5 and not have to worrying about hitting each other as I'm out on the water. I hope you enjoyed this quick little video. Again, I just wanted to show you some of the products that I use that enhance my experience on the water by allowing me to rig my kayak set up to my own personal needs. Now, don't just think that YakHobby makes products for Old Town. They make products for a wide variety of kayaks. So I invite you to check them out here on their website. Again, make sure you check out some of your local pages for a lot of these guys that are 1- and 2-man operations working hard out of their garages who are making great products. They're American made. A lot of thought went into these products, and trust me, I am quite surprised on how well they work. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you like what you see, subscribe. I'm Bill Scorta, Florida Bass Paddler. Thanks for watching. Tight lines, everyone.